Hi, friends. So today we are going to talk about feedback, and I'm really talking to my people leaders today. So I've noticed that there are some people leaders out there that really struggle with receiving feedback about their team. For example, I was working with someone who every time someone would have a just critical feedback about somebody on their team, he would just accept it. He wouldn't push back. He wouldn't question it. He wouldn't even ask for clarifiers as to why they were saying that. Anytime that anybody would say anything negative about his team, he was just like, "You're absolutely right," which was very uncomfortable for me because I simply will not let people speak ill of my people. And I appreciate critical feedback, but I'm going to push you. So this is some advice that I want to give all of my people leaders, because it's our job as people leaders to advocate and be our team's biggest fans. Yes, we can be a critic and we can definitely push them to be their best, but in public, we should always be pumping them up. We should always be speaking kindly about them and holding boundaries in the rooms that they're not in, and making sure that if others are speaking kindly about them, especially in rooms that they're not in. So I'll give you an example. I had this leader who said somebody on my team was unprofessional. And I was like, okay, can you give me some examples? I really, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by unprofessional. And he said, well, they're not online all the time. It's really hard to get a hold of them. And, they take too long to respond, and they just don't have enough urgency. And I was like, okay, one, we work from 9 to 5. So help me understand what you mean by always available. And he's like, well, I work different hours. And I'm like, that's fair. But my expectation of my team is to be available during these hours. Yes, we're a global team, and these are the hours that we've all agreed that we're going to be available. So I want to set that expectation. If you're sending my team an email at 3 a.m., my expectation is not that they respond. And I really want to question why you're up at 3 a.m. And, I'm sure you have a very different work life, family life than I do, but I'm uncomfortable asking my team to work at 3 a.m. So I hope you can respect that boundary. And he was like, okay, well, they're not responsive enough. And I said, okay, well, what does responsive enough mean? He's like, well, when I send them a Teams message, I expect a response within like a minute. And I said, whoa, my team does a lot of heads down, heavy work. Like, it takes deep focus for my team to get stuff done. I don't expect them to respond to me in a minute. As long as they get back to me within 24 hours, that's fine. And also, if it's an emergency, I can pick up the phone and call them. You can pick up the phone and call them. Can you give me an example in which you need a response within a minute? And again, there's really not a lot of corporate real life reasons for somebody to have to respond to you within a minute. Even within 5, right? We're all busy. We all have full-time jobs. And I know we're all being stretched too thin. So not okay. And then the last bit about not having enough urgency. And I was like, can you define urgency to me? And the way he described it is essentially panic, right? Like his energy was a little manic and a little panicked. And he was like, and he talked really fast and was very you could see it, right? You know it when you see it. And I was like, well, especially in corporate America, it's really important for us to remain calm, because it's very challenging to make educated and smart decisions when we're in a panic state. And I appreciate that you define that as urgency, but the way my team functions best, because we're engineers, because we're program managers, we need to be able to think critically at all times. So my team working on being calm in all of the rooms, and especially in program and project management, you have to be calm. Otherwise, everybody else is just going to panic with you, right? It's our job as program and project managers to co-regulate for everybody else, because everybody is stressed out about their world and their work. If we're bringing people together, we have to be able to be the calm in the storm for them. So I pushed back and I said, that's not really an expectation I have from my team. I truly appreciate their calm energy that they bring to things. And it's important for us to always remember what we're doing is not life and death. And there are consequences to our decisions. So it's important for us to be calm when we make them. So I don't expect that level of urgency. They can respond to you within an appropriate timeline, but it's not my expectation for them. And I deflated the whole situation, right then and there. And that's my job. That is literally my job as a people leader. I have to know exactly what I expect of my team. And I have to make sure that if anybody else questions that, I'm the first person they come talk to, right? So I want to be really clear. If other people leaders out there, right? If somebody gives you feedback about your team, make sure they understand what your team's role is. All of the nuances, what you as a leader expect of them and what the organization expects of them, right? No one is working 24 hours a day. none of us are surgeons. I mean, maybe there's some of you out there that are, but my teams simply were not. So my 3-step process for filtering feedback, right? Get some context, clarify the role and expectations. And then if it's still something that you need to take action on, then you take the action. But you always want to get clarity and context before you ever take any action. So hope that's helpful for all my people leaders out there. Let me know if you put this into practice.